have I got a story for you. A story that perfectly sums up everything wrong with green government priorities. Now, this entire fiasco was uncovered through Rebel News' rebelinvestigates.com initiative, supported by people like you who demand transparency and accountability. And if it weren't for your financial help, the BC government might have swept this under the rug, just like they do with so many of their mistakes. Imagine for a moment, you're a hardworking Canadian living in British Columbia. You're struggling to keep up with the rising cost of living thanks to endless carbon taxes, out-of-control immigration, and Justin Trudeau's inflation. You are barely scraping by. But then, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau goes on social media and tells you to check your bank account for a bribe with your own money. And if you live in British Columbia, it's called the Climate Action Tax Credit. Now imagine finding out that some of those checks issued from money taken from struggling families just like yours also went to prisoners. Yes, prisoners. That's right. The BC government, in its infinite ineptitude, sent climate action tax credit payments to people sitting in jail who were supposed to be ineligible for the program. You're out here working long hours to put food on the table, and meanwhile, your tax dollars are being funneled to people whose meals, housing, and every basic need are already covered by you, the taxpayer. But, you're driving to work in the minivan, murdering the planet. And these people, they're taking low-carbon strolls in the prison yard once a day. So who is really the bad guy? Low-emissions Larry and the reduce, reuse, recycle recidivists in cell block 6? Or you carpooling climate criminal? Now, BC Premier David Eby is currently claiming BC can't afford to send the $1,000 checks to families that he promised during the most recent BC election campaign. However, the BC government can send checks to prisoners to help them reduce their carbon footprint. And here's the kicker. Even corrections staff realized how ridiculous this all was. Corrections staff were scrambling to intercept the checks and send them back. Can you imagine? Corrections officers who already have enough on their plates were suddenly in the business of playing accountant, trying to fix yet another government screw-up. But why are we even here? How does a program like this get so mismanaged that prisoners are getting checks they were never supposed to see? It's because this government has no idea how to implement policies that actually work for Canadians. They're more interested in virtue signaling and rushing out flashy programs, making outlandish claims about said flashy programs, than making sure those programs are fair, effective, and properly managed. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't one bad decision. It's part of the same liberal climate agenda that punishes everyday Canadians. You're paying sky-high carbon taxes to fund their utopian version of a green future. Then they turn around and hand out so-called credits to ease some of the pain they're inflicting on you, only to mess it up so badly that even prisoners get a piece of the pie. And where's the accountability? Nowhere. This isn't just some bureaucratic oversight. It's a fundamental failure of leadership. Canadians were told this money would help them, not go to people sitting behind bars, but here we are with corrections staff cleaning up the mess because no one in government was paying attention. For Rebel News, I'm Shelia Gunn Reid. This story was made possible thanks to your generous crowdfunded donations to a special access filing website, rebelinvestigates.com. Thank you in advance to everyone who helps us hold the government to account.